There is much more to the American economy than the Dow Jones average, the NASDAQ, bond prices, but we will not be focusing today on the story that has crossed our desk about the very real possibility that sweatpants may be jumping to the $400 a pair range for those who follow the philosophy that money doesn't spend itself. Some sanity, if you will. Let's close out Wall Street today with the Newsmax Money Master, Director of Financial Newsletters, Jeff Yastine. Money does not spend itself, Jeff. But we're not going to spend a lot of money. Let's make a little money here. How'd the market do today?
The market was basically flat. We had the Dow and the S&P and the NASDAQ basically trading in a very narrow range and settling pretty much right around break-even levels, give or take a handful of points.
What is everybody waiting for right now? The Fed?
The stock market, the S&P and the Dow and the NASDAQ are either at all-time highs, or for the NASDAQ, near where it was 10 or 15 years ago now. I'm practically losing count here. And, there's just a lot of trepidation out there and concerns because of all the things that you and I have talked about. So generally, the market just bumping up. It doesn't have a reason to sell off here. And the major institutions, a lot of them tend to shut down, or not shut down their trading desks, but basically relax. A lot of guys are out of the office come summertime. And it's very possible we could just sort of drift higher for a good chunk of the summer if and when we see what the Fed actually, or when they actually decide to raise rates, if they raise rates.
This was an interesting study that I saw. Americans are becoming more apt to quit their jobs, according to a government report. They're saying that's a sign that a stronger labor market and falling unemployment could result in healthier wage growth and inflation. Quitting their jobs? That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, the idea behind this is that you generally are not going to quit your job unless you are very confident that you either have a new job already lined up at presumably higher pay, or that you can quit and go to another job and easily get a new position, again, as an improvement. So the fact that 2.8 million people quit their jobs in the past month, and that is also some information that's coming out of the Labor Department, it's a record since, I think the highest since 2008. So it's an indication that people are more confident and they're willing to go elsewhere, obviously for higher wages. That's the other factor I think we're going to see in the economic data over the next year or two. We've already been seeing it for the last 3 or 4 quarters in a mild way.
I got about 60 seconds left. A couple of things real quick. Radio Shack, the bid stands at $15 million in the auction for their name. Do you see Radio Shack actually still surviving as a brand name, or will somebody just buy it and plow it under?
That auction actually went through, believe it or not. And the initial opening round, this is from a couple of months ago, was $20 million. They ended up selling the brand name at $26 million. The Radio Shack stores, 1,700 of them, and I think 7,500 jobs, something like that. Those will stay in place, so you will still see some Radio Shacks on your various street corners, but clearly the chain's best days have been behind it, and how to resurrect it is an open question.
I have to get my diodes and my transistors somewhere. 30 seconds left. According to this, gold has stumbled. Some investors say don't give up on it. Do you agree with them?
I do. We're seeing situations where gold and the amount of it that's mined globally is beginning to decline. The pace of growth is declining. And so when you have less supply, which they expect to see happening next year, you should have higher prices going forward. But we have to get through this whole dollar Fed interest rate things, and the market will have to shake that out.
Don't worry, Jeff. The Star Trek universe tells us that gold-pressed latinum will become the basic bearer of currency one day. So we got nothing to worry about. Don't worry about it. 3,000 years from now, everything will be fine. Jeff, always a pleasure, my friend. Remind everybody, Newsmax.com website. Click on the Finance tab for the latest 24/7. Thanks, Jeff. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Thanks. See you,
All right.
man.
Check it out at Finance. Make sure to keep up with what Terry Savage is saying about gold and what Jeff Yastine and the team are saying about your money. MidPoint continues.